Students, I want to welcome you to another episode of Jay's Learning School, where I have the opportunity to help you to understand and speak better English. On today's lesson, I'm going to teach you how to describe foods in English. So we will talk about how to prepare foods as well as different types of foods that you can describe when speaking English. Let's get into today's lesson. So first of all, we must understand that food, especially here in the United States, can be prepared in a number of ways. One particular machine that is used to prepare food is an oven. Okay, and so you would heat an oven up to a certain temperature, and then you would place the food in the oven and then cook the food. An air fryer has become very popular in our day and time. So an air fryer, you can put vegetables, meats, desserts in the air fryer, and it will cook it with heated air. And so it's supposed to be a lot healthier, less greasy. I like air fryers. We actually have an air fryer, and I can testify that they make the food taste very, very healthy. A stove is a conventional or traditional way to prepare food. In this country, stoves can come either electric or gas powered. And so if it's gas powered, it will use natural gas or electricity to heat up food, where you can boil water, you can heat a pan, a pot, so you can prepare your dish. And finally, you have a microwave. A microwave has been available in this country since the late 70s, early 80s. When you use a microwave, we often say you're going to zap the food. And so it will warm the food up or cook food, but it's usually not that healthy because it uses, I believe it's radio waves or something it uses, but microwaves are convenient because it will heat food very, very quickly. So when it comes to describing food, you can say that your food is crispy. When something is crispy, it's crunchy. It's not hard to bite on. It's just crunchy to the bite. And bacon is crispy. Toast can be crispy. The skin from chicken or fish can be crispy. Another way to describe food would be to say it is salty. It has a lot of salt on the particular type of food that you have prepared. You can prepare beans, and the beans can have too much salt. You can prepare a sauce, and the sauce have too much salt in it. That's a tongue twister. But when something is salty, it has a lot of sodium in it. Food can be raw, okay? It's pink on the inside, or it's still bloody, okay? I don't like raw food. Now, I will confess I will eat raw tuna fish, but steaks, things of that nature, I don't prefer them raw. Some people like their meat to be raw. Some people eat raw eggs, okay? They'll open the egg, they won't cook it, they'll put it in a drink, or they'll put it in a glass and they'll just drink it. That's disgusting. Spoiled. Food can be spoiled, such as spoiled milk. Okay. Food often becomes spoiled by sitting out too long or not being prepared after a long period of time. So milk can be spoiled, eggs can be spoiled, fruit can be spoiled. Cheesy is another way to describe food. It's just a large amount of cheese, whether it be cheddar cheese, sharp cheese, mozzarella cheese. All of these things make a dish cheesy. So, of course, a pizza, you can put cheese on your potato, a baked potato, and make the potato cheesy. You can put cheese in your scrambled eggs and make the eggs cheesy. I am a cheese person. I like cheese. Bitter. When something is bitter, oh my goodness, it makes your jaw click right here. But it's bitter. It makes you squint like a lime is bitter. Okay. Some people use the lime juice or something that is bitter like a pickle. Pickles or pickle juice can be bitter. Sweet, sweet. So when something is sweet, like honey, it usually has a natural sugar in it or added sugar to it. And so it's sweet. Candy is sweet. Cake is sweet. Ice cream is sweet. A honey bun is sweet. A donut is sweet. Another way to describe food is to say that it is hot. Okay. Now, there are two types of hot. First of all, you can say that it's hot and you're describing the temperature of the food. Okay. This tea is hot. I almost burned my lip. Wow, this coffee is hot. I burned my tongue. Okay. I'm going to place the plate on the table. Don't touch it because it is hot. But then you could have something that is hot and you're describing the taste of it. Ooh, this is hot, like nachos and salsa. The salsa could be hot or spicy. Okay, something that has hot sauce on it can be described as being hot. Okay, fishy. One way to describe the taste of a food that has a gamey like taste, or it tastes as if it just came out of the ocean, or sometimes there's just certain types of fish that still taste a little fishy. Shrimp can be fishy, clams can be fishy, oysters can be fishy. If you eat calamari, which is octopus, if you don't clean it properly, it can taste fishy. Fried. Okay, so you can fry different foods. And that's when you place the food in a batter and then you place it in hot oil and then it would fry it. Or you can place flour on it and put it in an air fryer and it would fry it. Okay, but usually in this country, it has a batter on it and then it's dipped or placed in grease, like fried chicken or fried steak or French fries, which are basically fried potatoes. Did you know that they even fry Oreos in this country? Yeah, they dip Oreos, which is a cookie, a cream filled cookie, in a batter and then fry it. They fry Twinkies over here. It's just too sweet for me. Something can be juicy. Fruit can be juicy. I love a juicy apple. I love or enjoy a juicy orange. When you cut into it or you bite into it, the juice, it just fills your mouth. Grapefruit is bitter or sour, but I enjoy it because it's also juicy. Fresh. Food can be fresh. What we have in our country, we call a farmer's market, or we call it a vegetable or a fruit stand where people sell fresh goods. They sell fresh tomatoes, fresh cucumbers, fresh squash, or fresh onions. They were just taken out of the field and they were brought to the market to be sold. So you have fresh food. And you can tell when something is fresh when you compare it to something that is generic or not fresh. I enjoy fresh tasting food. Something can be creamy. Oatmeal is creamy. Grits are creamy. Yogurt is creamy. Fondue is creamy. And so when something is creamy, it either has a milk base or it has some type of liquid to it, maybe a cheese, creamed corn is creamy. Okay. So there are various different things that can be creamy. Gravy is creamy. Okay. You can make homemade gravy or you can buy the powder and add milk and water and it will become creamy and you put it over your steak or over your ground beef. Okay. Creamy is a way to describe a particular food. And oftentimes I've learned that creamy food is often rich. And sometimes it can be a little salty, but it just depends on what you are preparing. Healthy. Of course, we have healthy foods and unhealthy foods. So when a food is healthy for you, it's good for your body. It's full of nutrition. It gives your body energy. It doesn't cause you to get sleepy. Okay, so there are certain foods that you can eat, certain herbs that you can eat that are good for your eyes, carrots, things that are good for your skin, greens, spinach. These type foods are healthy. Fruits are healthy. Water is healthy. Okay? Dairy products or dairy foods such as eggs, cheese, milk. These are considered dairy products. And you have some people, they don't eat dairy products. They want their food to be without milk or other type dairy products, either for health reasons or some people may be allergic to different dairy products. And so they don't prefer to eat them. Some people don't choose to use dairy products because it may cause mucus to form in their lungs, making it difficult to breathe. So there are a number of different reasons why people do not eat dairy products. But then on the other hand, there are a number of people who love dairy products, yogurts, ice creams, and such. Mashed is a way to describe a food. So you can mash potatoes. You can mash sweet potatoes. You can mash peas. You can mix food together and mash it up. Okay. Some people that don't have teeth have to mash their food. Yeah. So when it's mashed, it's simply pressed down. They have different utensils or tools that you can use in order to mash different foods. Uh, and you would eat it like that. I love mashed potatoes. You can describe foods as being baked. Okay. Bread must be baked. You can bake chicken. Okay. You can bake fish. And usually, when you bake foods, you place them in an oven or some type of fire pit or something where there is heat and it will bake the food. Oftentimes, baked food is more healthy when compared to fried food. So, if you have to choose between baked chicken and fried chicken, the healthier option would be baked chicken. Okay. There's nothing like the smell of fresh baked bread. Where I live, we don't have too many bakeries. Some of the department stores or the grocery stores, they have bakeries on the inside, but it's nothing like going to a city that has a bakery and you walk by and you can smell the bread as it is being baked. Food can be rotten. When food is rotten, it's no longer edible or good. It's been sitting too long in the open air or it's been too long in the refrigerator. So food becomes rotten and you have to throw it away. So your fruit can become rotten. Your dairy products can become rotten. Your meat can become rotten. You can cook beans, but leave them in the refrigerator too long and they'll get mold on them or it will be rotten. Spicy is another way to describe food. When something is spicy, it's hot to the taste. Okay. I like spicy food, but it has to be mild. I do not have a high tolerance for spicy foods. Okay. I wouldn't mind tasting it, but if it's just too hot or too potent, I can't handle it. My stomach can't handle it. So I don't prefer spicy foods, but some people love spicy food. They want their nachos and their salsa to be spicy. They want their hot sauce to be spicy. They want their meat to have a little spice kick to it. Jerk chicken, which is I believe a Jamaican dish, is a spicy tasting chicken dish. And it's good, but some people make it very, very spicy. And I usually don't touch it then. Stale. Okay, when something is stale, like bread, it's no longer edible. Now, when I get stale bread, I take it outside and I give it to the birds. I break it up, and the birds, they come and love it and they tear it up, they devour it. But as far as stale bread, I don't eat stale bread. So when something is stale, it has lost its taste, it's starting to turn colors, it may become moldy. You want to get it out the house because it will start to smell when it's stale. Tender. Okay, when something is tender, oh, it's so juicy, it's easy to cut, it's easy to bite into, and oftentimes it will have good flavor. So you can have a tender hot dog, you can have a tender steak, you can have a tender pork chop, you can even have a tender piece of chicken that's crispy on the outside and tender on the inside. Okay. When it's tender, it's cooked just right. I mean, it's perfect. Okay. Some people like their hot dogs to be burnt on the outside or crispy on the outside and tender on the inside. And finally, one way to describe food would be tasteless. Okay. When something is tasteless, it has no flavor. I mean, it may look good, it may be healthy, but it just does not have any taste. It needs some seasoning. And I don't like tasteless food. I remember when I was young, my mother used to give us rice cakes, and she would tell us these are more healthy than eating crackers and bread. But the problem I had with rice cakes is that they had no taste. They were dry. Oh my goodness, they were bland, but they were healthy. Some people cook without seasoning. Some people cook without adding any type of spice to the food, and I don't enjoy it. And so you would describe that as being tasteless, bland, having no flavor. So these are over 30 different ways that you can describe and prepare food in this lesson. I want to encourage you to go back and listen to this again so you can become familiar with how to describe and to prepare food. Now, before we get out of here, I would like to invite you to my live stream, which is twice a week right now. And the stream schedule is Tuesdays at 9:15 a.m. and Thursdays at 7:15 p.m. I want to invite you so you can come and ask questions. You can give me recommendations and so forth on what type videos you would like me to make. I would love for you to join the live stream. And these are Eastern Standard Times. Also, I am on social media. I would love for you to follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and I also have a podcast that's available on Apple Podcasts. It's available on Spotify as well as Podbean, Google, wherever you listen to podcasts. Just do a search for Jay's Learning School. Well, I thank you so much for joining me on today's lesson where I have taught you how to describe foods in English. While you're here, make sure you check out some of my other videos right here on the channel to help you understand and speak better English. See you next time. Have a wonderful day.